Good morning to my professor and all my dear viewers. Today, I, Rudranil Mullik of Techno India University, am going to present on the topic Postfix Notation Evaluation, also known as Polish Notation Evaluation. So, let's get started. Understanding postfix notation is a very easy and simple topic. Unlike infix notation, postfix notation does not require any parentheses. The rules to calculate postfix notation are very simple and the application of these operations is very vast in the computer fundamentals. We would be using a stack to implement this postfix notation. Let's get started. The evaluation of the algorithm is very easy. We would take any expression and then start reading it from left to right. We would categorize the expression in two components, operands and operation. When we see any operand in our expression, we would push it into the stack. If two operands follows each other, then we would push back-to-back operands into the stack. As soon as we get any operation in our expression, we would pop all the elements in the stack, perform that operation in those elements, and the whatever result we get, we would again push it into the stack, and this process would follow with the help of a loop. Here is a example of our stack operations. Our expression here is 3, 4 plus 2 multiply. Our first element of the expression is an operand which is 3. So we would push it into the stack. It is followed by 4. So we would again push it into the stack. But our third element in the expression is an operation. So we would pop both the elements from the stack, apply the operation which would be 4 plus 3 equals 7, and this result 7 would be again pushed into the stack and the loop would continue. The next element in our expression is 2, which would be pushed into the stack, followed by an operation multiply. Again, the same process will repeat. We would pop all the elements from the stack, apply the operation on those elements, and the result would be pushed into the stack. This process will continue till only one element remains in the stack, which would be our result in here, which is 14. The algorithm of the code is really simple. We would set the stack pointer at -1. Our step 2 would be reading the expression from left to right. We would set up a loop for it, and as soon as we get any operand, we would push it into the stack. If the element we get is not an operand and is an operation, then we would pop all the elements from the stack, apply those operations, and push the result back into the stack. This would as follows until there is no element left to be read out from the expression and only one result remains in the stack, which we would print. The efficiency of this algorithm is really good. The time complexity is notation of n, which is linear and helps to perform a long calculation in a very short time. The space complexity is also linear as we use only one data structure, which is a stack, and the efficiency of the algorithm is also high. This helps us and makes this postfix notation a very effective and useful operation. Here we get another example. The expression would be 3, 4 plus 2 multiply 1 minus. The first two elements of the expression are 3 and 4, which would be pushed into the stack, followed by an operation. So we would pop all the elements, apply the operation, and push the result back into the stack, which here would be 7. Element in the expression is an operand which is 2. So we would push it into the stack, followed by multiply. We would pop all the elements here 7 and 2 from the stack, apply the operation in it, the result here 14 would be pushed back into the stack. and this would follows with the remaining part of the expression here 1 and minus. If after 14 the element 1 would be pushed into the stack, it would be then popped out as the next element of the expression would be a operation. The operation would be applied here 14 minus 1 equals 13, and the result would be pushed back into the stack. Now the expression have ended and only one element remains in the stack here 13, which would be our result. On this note, I would like to conclude today's presentation on a topic of postfix notation evaluation. It is also used in a broad variety of applications in the field of computer. Thank you.